Today we're going to talk about Chapter 6, Inventory. So we're going to look at a couple things. Chapter 6 goes hand in hand with Chapter 5. Chapter 5 told us how to journalize when we bought or sold inventory. But in Chapter 6, we're going to learn about the actual inventory. How many pieces are still on the shelf, at what cost, and how many pieces did we sell at what cost. So this is a little bit different here. There won't be a lot of journal entries in here. The two major components will be how much inventory I have left and how much did I sell, or what was the cost of it. For this chapter, we're more concerned about the cost of the inventory and not the selling price. So we're going to understand that in order to keep track of our inventory, we actually need to take a physical count on a regular basis. So you should at least do it at least once a year to make sure that what your shelf says is what your computer says. We're going to talk about what we call the cost flow assumption. That's basically how we assume cost flow into the company and out to the company. And then we're going to look at how it's going to impact our income statement and our balance sheet. So there basically are three major methods to figure out the cost flow assumptions. And we're going to look at those three, and we're going to focus on those three throughout this whole chapter. The first one is called FIFO. It means first in, first out. Okay? And it's called FIFO. So what it does, it assumes that the first cost you buy are the first ones you sell. So in this scenario, if on Sunday I bought 10 pieces at $10 each, then on Monday I bought 10 pieces at $11 each, then on Tuesday I bought 10 more pieces at $12 each, and then Wednesday I sell 10 pieces. Under the FIFO method, the cost of the 10 pieces I sell on Wednesday will be $10 each, the same cost that I bought on Sunday. So FIFO is the first one we're going to look at. It's also the one with the most used, most businesses use FIFO because it allows for the highest gross profit. So it's the most popular valuation method. The second one we're going to look at is LIFO. It's the opposite. It's called last in, first out. So in that same scenario I just gave you where I bought 10 pieces on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, all at a higher cost, when I sell my 10 pieces on Wednesday, they're going to be $12 each. So they'll be the cost of the inventory that I brought in last. It's called LIFO. And then finally we have the easiest one, which is called weighted average. And so basically I don't track each buy and sell, but I take a total of the cost of all the inventory and the cost, or the total of all the quantity, and figure out what is the weighted average cost of each item. So we're going to look at that. But the next slide has some important information. This is called inventory cost flow assumptions. And there possibly are quiz questions on this, so you want to definitely keep track of this particular video. So the first one is called FIFO. So the first inventory in, the cost is the first that I sell. Remember, this chapter, only the cost of the inventory, not what I sell it for, and the cost of what's left on the shelf. So under FIFO, cost flow in the order in which the costs were incurred. The first cost in are the first cost out the door. When we move to LIFO, it's the opposite. So cost flow are in the reverse order in which the costs were incurred. So the last cost in will be the first cost out. That would be the example of the $12 inventory I bought on Tuesday. When I sell on Wednesday, that will be the first thing going out the door. Finally, it's weighted average cost, and it's just cost flow is in an average of all the costs. So let me show you how to take a look at that. Here's an example of three different purchases we made. The first purchase was on the 10th. We paid $9 for it. Then we bought another piece at $13. Then we bought another piece at $14. So to figure out my average cost, or my weighted average, my total inventory cost divided by my total units says that each one is $12 each. So remember, when we're doing weighted average, we need to do this whole recalculation again, which is total inventory cost divided by total units to get the average. You need to do it after every time you purchase. It's really important to remember that. Every time I purchase, I recalculate. And I'm going to remember I need to take the inventory I already have plus the cost of the new inventory and divide it by the total quantity of what I already had plus the quantity of what I just bought. And we'll get into that a little bit later. So next we're going to look at what happens. I want to show you what's going to happen to the gross profit. So here's my little formula. Sales minus cost of merchandise sold equals gross profit. And then I have my ending inventory. If I sold the one I bought first, which would be this. So my selling price is $20 each on all these examples. So remember, selling price is not the issue here. It's not going to change. If I sold the very first one, it cost me $9. So my gross profit ends up being $11. And the stock left on my shelf is the cost of the second and third buy, which is $27. And that would be considered FIFO, first in, first out. Over here, if I sold the last one I bought, it cost me $14. So look at my gross profit. That's only $6. So there's a big difference of profit between $11 and $6. And so my ending inventory is the first part I bought and the second part I bought still on my shelf. So this is just kind of an example of how you can look at each one. So next we're going to look at some flow charts on this. And here's the flow chart. So if I'm doing FIFO, these are my three purchases. So this just kind of breaks it down. Here's the cost of what I bought. Here's the cost of what's still left on my shelf. So this is under FIFO. Here's what it is under LIFO. Under LIFO, the cost is $14. So I actually sold the last one, and my inventory is the cost of the first and second one. If I do weighted average, it's a little bit different, but we already know $12 from the previous slide, remember, is $12 is my average cost. So if I do weighted average, down here we're looking at a weighted average of 12, my gross profit is 8. Okay, that's going to conclude cost flow assumptions. I'm going to move into the next video shortly that's going to actually show how to document under perpetual inventory using FIFO, LIFO, and weighted average.